It's easy to get caught up in the views or a specific location when you're looking at a San Diego home. But before you start visualizing the living room, it's vital to understand the hidden risks of each property. In this market, the wrong details can turn your dream second home into a $15,000 a month hassle. Today, I'm sharing with you the 5 things I would never do when buying a second home. The San Diego dream is under pressure. Between shifting insurance markets, new state-mandated inspections, and a changing regulatory landscape for rentals, buying a beach house and hoping for the best is a recipe for a financial nightmare. Don't walk into a problem you didn't know existed. I'm Dustin J. Backrad. I'm a licensed real estate professional in both Arizona and California. I specialize in the San Diego second home market. I use a specific 3-step process to ensure my clients stay protected and find the home they love. First, we clarify. We define your unique lifestyle goals before we even start looking for a home. Second, we identify. We locate safe inventory that meets those goals without hidden liabilities. Third, we implement. We put the systems in place to make your home and your goal run itself. Now, let's get to the list of 5 things I would never do when buying a second home. Stick around with me because item number 4 on the list is currently catching almost every condo buyer off guard. Let's jump in. The first thing you should never do is write an offer before you've truly defined your why. This is the clarify stage of my 3-step process, and skipping it is the fastest way to end up with a financial or lifestyle handcuff. A lot of people just want a beach house, but they haven't decided if that house is 100% private legacy property or if they want to make some income with it. Maybe they have an idea but don't really have the information or method to make it happen. Personally, I would never buy a property and generally guide a client away from a property that has a no rental clause buried in the CC&Rs. Now, I get it. You might not need the rental income, and that's fine. But having the option to rent is what I call Plan B. Life is unpredictable. Markets shift. Family dynamics change. And if you buy into a complex or a neighborhood that strictly prohibits rentals, you're locked into a Plan A only. If Plan A stops working for your life, you're forced to sell in whatever market exists at that exact moment. But if you have the right to pivot, to bring in an invisible tenant or a full-time renter, you have a self-sustaining asset that survives any economic weather. When we define the goal first, we make sure the property has the key factors you need and the flexibility to meet it. Next, I would never buy a property, and I would strongly advise you not to either, that has significant unpermitted additions. It can be tempting to look at a bonus room or a converted garage and see the added value, but that bonus can turn into a nightmare fast. Unpermitted additions can make getting insurance next to impossible and lead to greater problems if you have to make a claim. Beyond insurance, San Diego code enforcement can be very strict. What starts as a quiet, unpermitted ADU can quickly turn into a world of headaches and 5-figure fines if a neighbor calls it in to the city inspector. When I talk about safe inventory, I mean ensuring that the square footage you are paying for is the square footage you actually own legally. Third on my list is just about always a deal killer: the uninsurable property. I would never buy a home, and I would say the same to you, that hasn't been cleared for insurance. In California, specifically in our coastal brush zone or older multi-unit complexes, the insurance market has become incredibly volatile. We've seen major carriers pull out of the state entirely, leaving many owners with far less than ideal California FAIR plan as their only option. Beyond the cost, there's the issue of leverage. If a property is uninsurable, it's unfinanceable. That means if you ever need to sell or refinance, your buyer pool shrinks to cash-only investors who will demand a massive discount. When I'm helping a client identify safe inventory, a vital issue is the insurability. We don't wait for the appraisal or the inspection to be finished. We get an insurance binder as fast as we can. If the insurance premium is a handcuff or if the property is flat out uninsurable, we find out in short order, not day 21. In this market, your insurance agent is just as important as your inspector. Fourth on my list is the deferred maintenance trap. I would never buy a coastal condo in San Diego, and you shouldn't either, without a verified balcony clearance and a deep dive into the HOA's reserve study. In California, we have two specific laws, SB 326 and SB 721, that mandate structural inspections of elevated exterior elements. Basically, the state is making sure that the complexes prove their balconies are not rotted. If a complex hasn't performed these inspections, or worse, if they've found major issues and haven't funded it yet, you could be walking into a massive special assessment. Sometimes I'll show a coastal unit in a great location with a low price and surprisingly low monthly HOA fee. To the untrained eye, that looks like an amazing deal. To me, it looks more like a red flag. A low HOA fee often means the association is underfunded. When the state mandated inspections come due, that cheap condo suddenly comes with a $50,000 or even $100,000 special assessment to fix those balconies. Identifying safe inventory doesn't just look at the floor plans. We look at the assessment history and the probability of future hits. We want healthy, well-funded HOAs, not just inexpensive ones. If the complex looks run down and the fees are low, the math doesn't add up. Most likely, your best bet is to walk away. Finally, I would never buy a second home, and I would never let you where the math works, but the vibe just doesn't. I've seen buyers fall into this trap before. They get so focused on the rental yield and the tax benefits that they buy the property in a neighborhood they just don't want to be in. They buy because the spreadsheet looks incredible, but they don't get what they really want when they are living in their second home. Here's the reality. If you don't love being at the house, you'll find excuses not to go. And if you don't go, the San Diego dream turns into just another line item on your tax return. If you aren't going to be happy when you're there, it's not the right house, no matter what the spreadsheet says. At the end of the day, a San Diego second home should be something that brings you joy, a sanctuary for your family, and not a consistent source of hassle and surprise expenses. The 5 traps we just covered are exactly why I developed the 3-step process. We clarify your goals so you don't buy a house you'll never visit. We identify safe inventory so you aren't stuck with unpermitted wings or uninsurable risks. And we implement the right people and systems to ensure your home is best serving you while you're away. Buying in this market isn't just about finding the beautiful view. It's about making sure that view doesn't come with a hidden $100,000 price tag the day after you close. If you're currently looking at a property and want a second set of eyes to audit the hidden risks, or if you want to explore if San Diego's second home market is the right choice for you, and you're wondering maybe how to match your goals with the right San Diego neighborhood, let's link up. You can text me at the number below or email me at the address below. I want to make sure your San Diego second home is the right match in reality and not just on your spreadsheet. I'm Dustin J. Backrad, your friend in San Diego real estate, and I'll see you on the coast.